Hello and welcome back to the Gold Advantage. The off-season is finally over and roster mania is done. We've had some exciting changes in the LEC and this is going to be a great episode because we're really not in agreement on who the best teams are. If you haven't caught it, earlier this week we recorded the LCS episode covering everything happening there. There'll be a link around here, so make sure to check that out. Otherwise, I think we're just going to dive into the LEC. The way things work is that we're just going to go through our average rankings. If you want to see the individual rankings, you'll be able to find those in our Discord. You can find the link in the description below, and you can tell us why we're right or wrong, and ask us questions in the Discord. So,
Mostly right.
Good little place. We'd love to hear what you guys think. This is a pretty interesting. So already we have a disagreement. In 10th place,
Wow.
it is BDS. The only disagreement is because BNB has them in 9th
team
place.
in the league.
BDS is Adam, Shio, Nuclear, and Crowny, and Labrov.
This is a team that changed
Anything,
everything
yeah.
but didn't change anything.
I just look. I'll keep it short and sweet with BDS. They actually have players who straight up dislike each other, and that is, and I don't think they have the emotional maturity to be able to navigate that. So,
Look, they brought in 3 players from their academy team, which the academy team was solid. They came in 2nd place, only behind the Olympic Lyonnais academy team. And then they brought over Labrov, who probably disappointed coming from Vitality to be now with BDS. Fair enough. This to me is a team that is in 9th place, so I don't have them like massively above you. The fact that you guys don't have Astralis though as last place is laughable. So
I have them in 9th place. So.
No, Astralis
Yeah, I'm
clears,
surprised.
bro.
Astralis is awful.
They do. Astralis is a player with
I think
numbers
Finn
in his
and
name.
Kobe are pretty good, and I think Deo is fine, but I have them in 9th place. I think Astralis. I kind of, I don't have them in 10th just because I think the team chemistry will be better than BDS. Heretics is Eevee, Yankos, Ruby, Jack Spectra, and Mercer. They picked up Peter Dunn also, who was the EG coach, which is good. From what I've heard, actually, Heretics had a pretty decent budget, and they wanted to go pretty ambitious straight away. The moves didn't work out, so they've ended up with this roster. It'll be interesting to see what happens in summer and next year.
They get Yankos.
Yeah, Yankos is the good pickup, and they were going to build around him, and then things didn't work out. So I don't think this is the roster they wanted to field. It's the roster they ended up with. Whatever. I don't have much to say.
It's not super inspiring, but Peter Dunn as the head coach, I like. I don't know why. See his name on Twitter.
He's the EG coach.
Makes me happy.
But here's what I'll say. When we talk about things they dropped the Misfit name, so that's pretty funny. I enjoy that joke. Their logo, we've got another team that has a logo update. This logo is better than the other team's logo update. However, it looks a lot like Rogue, so it is kind of weird that their logo is going to be.
There's no more Rogue; it's just Koi, isn't it? So, actually, by the way, SK was tied with Heretics.
New Rogue,
technically. So, SK is sitting at Irrelevant, Marcoon, Certus, Exakick, and DOS.
I mean, Irrelevant
goes and explains the team like this.
I really thought you were just saying
he
that
wasn't
they
what
were
made
irrelevant.
Misfits good last year. Irrelevant isn't what made Misfits good. I don't see realistically any super upgrade here that I'm like, oh, this is crazy. This team's really
DOS
good
is
now.
pretty good.
Exakick and DOS.
I have them at 9.
And DOS.
I think
people
DOS
excited about
is
them.
actually going to be That's who I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But like your bot lane can't
No.
win
But I'm telling you, man, this Olympic Lyonnais academy team. These guys were fucking world beaters.
They were really good.
They were really good. 3 or 4 of them.
Apparently, Vitality B was the team
No,
to steal players
because
from.
also, who else got another player from that team? Oh, G2.
G2. Yike is like
Yike.
Yikes! That was fucking great.
I was joking about Vitality B because they all went there. But
I actually think this SK team with these players, I had them 7th.
Yeah.
And so look again, I don't think they're going to compete with the top, but I have much more higher ambitions for that SK team than like any of the other teams.
I'm with you on it. I actually think they're a pretty. I think they're a good middle of the pack team. I'm not going to put them in top 4 or 5.
Nope.
I think Marcoon is decent. Exakick and DOS I'm excited about. They also have Febivin in sub behind Certus, so he used to be good maybe he'll come back and be, something that can push them up. But I could see if this team has the chemistry, I could see them pushing up. Maybe upsetting, grabbing a 6th place spot and making it into playoffs. But I'll put them in. That's why I have them in 7th. They're just basically knocking on that door. Unanimous 6th place. Mad Lions. They are in 6th place just because I think they are too talented to be put below, but I actually don't like this team.
I don't either.
And Chasey in top lane, Oyoya, Niski, Kazi, and Hylissang. I love that they finally changed armor. Chasey's cool. Oyoya's phenomenal. I actually think Niski is very solid in mid lane, allows people to shine. Kazi was dog shit last year. He has a shitty attitude, and he played like shit, and I don't know why you bring him back. Hylissang also very miss. He's hit and miss player, but we had a lot of miss last year, so I'm just a bit concerned about it. I will say the pro on these guys, I think Kazi, Hylissang, and Oyoya are a very aggressive set of players who are very happy to go in a lot. If they are playing on the same page, I actually think they could be really exciting to watch and could do well as a result of that.
It's funny where your concerns are. It's kind of the opposite of my concerns. I think for Kazi and Hylissang needing a change of scenery, right? A different team. My concern is around Chasey. This is a guy coming in trying to fit in with the EU style. Will Chasey be able to kind of like adapt and play a strong top lane? That's why I have them in 6th. I think that they have some gelling to do. Last split they came in 2nd, but then they really fell off at the end.
I think they walked away from last season and they said, how can we get more volatile? And what they've done is they've absolutely nuked the floor for this team. So essentially they could come in last if they really don't perform at all. Like, I promise you
no one's...
Actually, no, they can't come in last. I'll give them.
They're not Astralis.
I'll give them 8th. Yeah. I'll give them 8th if they're real
8th,
bad.
I can be okay with.
But they also increase their ceiling, and it goes without saying they're gonna be very aggressive. It's probably gonna be pretty fun to watch. Now, the thing that stands out here, and I say it every time he's on a roster, but you live and die by the saying, and that's about it.
Oh, you keep saying that.
I'm with you. I think I'm with you on that, baby. And that's what I mean. Look, this new format, I think we'll probably do a little clip on that in itself, but essentially we're going to have 10 teams playing, and then if you don't perform well, 8 teams go ahead, and then we get best of 3s, which then lead to playoffs. This is the Mad Lions.
Do you think they made this rule for this year just so that way... Did they make that this year just so they don't have to see BDS and Astralis play very often?
I'm so happy about it. I wish NA had it. I'm so annoyed.
Yes, literally, dude, because last year was... I made the joke about not saying Vizicachi's name, but realistically, I didn't say his fucking name last year because they weren't worth talking about.
Not wrong.
It's just sad to even watch that throughout the year. Now that's for short, whatever.
We're here.
Keep it out of here.
In our 5th place team. This is where we're starting to get some contention because they are Excel. And the crazy thing is, Scoot and I are in agreement in 5th place, whereas Chris, you have them in 2nd place. So I'll run through the roster. The roster, they made some interesting changes. So they have Odoamne in top lane, Xerxes in jungle, Vitheo in mid lane, Patrick and Targamas in the bot lane. They look good, and I like them individually, but I don't know if their play styles will mesh, and I don't love Xerxes. He did well last year, but I don't know if he's great. I think Vitheo has a limited champion pool, so I think there's kind of issues of the meta. If the meta isn't right for them, I think they'll struggle, but if they do well, I think they'll be greater than the sum of their parts.
You haven't even mentioned who they have waiting in the fucking wings as a sub. They also have Abadage waiting in the wing, ready to fill in.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. This is a team.
Yeah, but...
Look, this is what I love in a team, which is this is a team. Last year they had never made playoffs, so they come in, they fucking make playoffs for the first time. And you know what? They're not content. This is a team that's like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go out and get some amazingly good players, and we're gonna make this even better. So the fact that they're bringing in Targamas from G2, bringing in Odoamne, I love it. Rogues trying to figure out their own thing. Now known as KOI or Koi, or however you want to
it's Koi.
You want to say it.
It's a fish.
Yep.
It's a pretty famous fish. You're like salmon, salmon. How do you say this weird word, salmon?
When you say salmon, Do they spell it in all capitals? I don't think so. So
Team KO.
Vethio coming from Misfits, I thought he was really strong for them.
He was.
So to me, this is a team that is just doing things you want them to do. I am so jacked up for this XL team. As you mentioned, I have them in second. We'll get to who I have them in second behind, but I have them at second place because I'm not jazzed up about any of these other teams.
That's funny because I actually rate the other teams more than them. That's kind of why they ended up in fifth. I like the roster changes, but I think they're just weaker than the top four.
This is a recomposed Misfits from last year with like slightly different names. It almost and the same mid laner, obviously, but it feels almost exactly the same.
That Misfits team came in fourth.
All right, next up, Fnatic.
They're not two, though.
Yeah, they are. This Fnatic
that's
team,
crazy.
This Fnatic team is trash.
All right, well, look, I'll let you run that. Okay, Fnatic, Wonder top lane, Razork jungle, Humanoid mid lane, Rekkles in the bot lane with Rux. Why are they trash, BNB? Give us your thoughts here.
Welcome back. Went and played down the academy. Glad he's able to kind of come back. They don't. This is a team that came in fifth place last year, and what have they done to improve the team? Like Rux in the bottom lane coming up from the academy. I don't know, man.
Upgrade.
He's way more stable than Hylissang. Hylissang was throwing games last year.
Chris, you know it. Just say it with me. You live and die
and
by
they
the
were
saying.
dying. And they were
and
dying
they did
by
last
the
year.
saying.
They died by the saying. And then he came back.
If you're right, great. If you're right, fantastic. But to me, Wonder, Razork, and Humanoid, they were all part of the problem. And so to me,
Rux was good when he subbed in last year. Like, really good, to be fair. Now, it's a different ADC. Rekkles, Upset was their highlight player last year. So I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't know if I love the change there, but at the same time, I think Rekkles is more stable than Upset.
I have him in fifth.
Sure.
Same as last year.
I'm weirdly lukewarm on this team.
Thank you.
So that's why they're fourth for me. They're fourth for me. Scoot, you made a really good point of why I'm lukewarm on them. I think Rekkles is an incredible weak side player. He will play lane perfectly. He will not dominate, but he will not lose it. And then he'll play mid to late game almost perfectly as well. He makes no mistakes. Upset was as good or better than Rekkles and much more of a carry. The problem is when I look at this team, who's carrying? It's just Humanoid. Wonder is not a hard carry. Rekkles is not a hard carry.
Rux.
So you're left with Humanoid. Now, Humanoid, one of the best performances at Worlds. It was incredible. He played so well at Worlds.
He was great.
But he also, it's well known, he doesn't give a shit about regular season. This is why they're in fourth. I'm kind of lukewarm on them because when I look at the top three teams, I'm like, these are teams where you can really see who they're building around, how they're going to play. Vitality. Now, this is another interesting one. They're our third place team. Chris and I have them in fourth, whereas Scoot has them in first. So they are third place team, but Scoot, you have them first. I'll run through the roster and I'll give my quick thoughts. I'll keep it pretty short. Photon in top lane, Bo in jungle, Perks in mid lane, Neon in support, and Neon and Kaiser in bot lane. I'm so excited about Bo. The man has been slapping everyone on the ladder. He's also doing incredibly well as AD carry on the ladder, and some people he's legitimately could be one of the top AD carries in the league if he wanted to be. I think he's crazy good. The team, looks very good on paper. They're in fourth place for me because it's vitality. So I have the question mark. I'm not going to put them in first place because I haven't seen them deliver, but they are 100% I have a fourth/first place. If they're doing well, their ceiling is just going to be incredible.
Yeah, fourth/first. I just put them in first because I have the nuts to do it. That's
the
all I have to
Perks
say.
here.
He was pretty good last year.
Perks is actually better when he's surrounded by players that don't force him to stand out. Where Alfari, good in lane, but you would need Perks to be a highlight reel mid-game if you wanted to win, because Alfari, win lane, lose game. We know how it goes. Photon's not going to do the same thing. Photon's going to win lane and, win the game. Because he's coming from, also, you guys noted, the number one thing I'm bullish on, not only is Bo dominant, and he will carry this team to a title, but Photon, coming from T1, engineered to win, geared to win. We already know that. We know how that organization prospers. If you're able to get a player from there, it's very likely that they're good. I will also say this. Neon was a part of what made Misfits great. I think it was Vithio and Neon that were the two standout players on Misfits last year. I think this is actually a really good pickup for Vitality.
And he has the talent. He has the talent to pop off.
Absolutely, and way more stable than Kaiser was last year. And also, LeBron was like a pretty shit support. So Kaiser, huge upgrade there as well. I think this team is geared to win.
I think Pex got overlooked a lot last year for what he did. I think he was pretty stable and pretty decent. He was just on a bad team. He was on a bad team.
You're moving me.
And I think a lot of the issues in Vitality did not stem from Perks.
I'm with Vitality to second, XL to third, and then...
Just moving things around.
Okay, if you're moving that, if you're doing
that,
interestingly, that actually then averages Vitality. If you move Vitality to second, it pumps them up to second place. Over who was the previous second place, G2. I have them first. You have them third. Scoot, you have them in fourth. I have them in first.
Wow.
Yeah, like I am.
I have a similar viewpoint to you with Vitality, whereas like this is a 1-4 for me. Like, of course, I'm never gonna bet against G2 as an organization. They've proven time and time again that they know what they're doing and they know who they're getting and what they're building.
I'm so excited about this team. I am really excited about this.
They didn't lose their soul. They just got less misogynistic. Like,
I mean, some people would say that is the soul of League of Legends. You know, we all know what Riot is like.
Oh, I'm sorry, bruv. They got less top G this year.
They lost what makes Riot special: the misogyny. Broken Blade, Yike, Caps, Hansama, and Mickey. I am like, these are incredible pickups. Mickey is so good. We know how great he is. I'm so happy to see him coming back. I think people are sleeping on Hans Sama. We already talked about Yike and the OL pickup. Like, they just look so great. This is such a good mix. Like, Yike's coming in, new energy. I think the Hans Mickey lane is going to just do great. And I think this team knows how they want to play the game. I think they have veterans and the staff to support it. This is my number one team.
So as an ardent Rogue fan, can I just say Hansam is a traitor, and I hate him for it.
Sure.
When are you a Rogue fan?
We've been Rogue around here. More Rogue than G2. My biggest concern, you know what's funny?
You hate G2.
Nikki, you go through that, and my concerns aren't the players they added, it's the players they kept. Caps is another year older. Yeah.
Caps is still
had a bad year last year.
He did not have a bad year. Caps has never had a bad year. Yeah, Caps' bad year is like...
No, he had a bad year because he lost the final.
I'm number two.
Oh my God.
I'm the second best mid laner.
Yeah, Caps... No, he hadn't lost the final before.
And then
that's the
Broken
thing.
Blade.
He finally did.
I'm just nervous. Look, I have him in second. Or no, I have him in...
third.
Well, now I have him in fourth because I moved Vitality up.
You want to actually put them below XL? I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This to me is a team that they're good. I'm excited to see them play. The top four to me are going to be. It's going to be a fun year.
I think the one thing I will say, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think it's very funny that they sent Mickey around and they were like, "Go prove yourself again," and then rejoin the roster.
Oh, you managed to carry XL to their first ever playoffs and do well. All right, okay.
Oh, you're good enough. Yeah. All right, you're good enough. Like, that's just how G2 does it. But the one concern for me, and I think Yike, obviously very talented, but what made Jankos great was not only his talent, but I think his adaptability and his ability to fit in with how Caps wanted to play and how Broken Blade wanted to play their lanes individually. Like, he could really put his foot on the gas if he wanted to, but he could also lay off and play the champs that he needed to in certain situations. And that's what made him great, like phenomenal, more than great, I would say. An amazing teammate is the one thing I'll say there. But I don't think the talent level is any different between the two. So 1-4 for me.
I don't disagree with that. I think Jankos was great, but I also agree. I understand, like, sometimes a change is needed. I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jankos also wanted it. So, but to me, it's not the top four. It's really the top three. It's Koi, it's G2, and Vitality. Those are my top three, and I think any one of them can swap around. I'm not sold on the XL.
I'll put G2 above Fnatic, actually. I'm going to put them at 3. And Fnatic
you see, that's what I was surprised
Fnatic's
by.
at 5. Let's talk about the fish.
All right,
let's talk about the fish.
They are our first place team. The roster change was only Shigenda. They brought him in over Oduamne. It's a bit of a like question mark. Hey, you just won. Oduamne did really well for you. Why are you doing that? And I think that's the same questions that people were asking when they dropped Hans and what's his name previously.
And then they won.
In theory, it's good. Are they going to mentally boom again, or have they figured it out? And now that they've won and they've kind of overcome that barrier, they're a winning team. That's why I have them in second place. That's my biggest reservation. But they're the champs.
The answer is yes. Yeah, they are the champs. Look, my biggest takeaway is terrible logo. I mean, come on, PK. If you're going to fucking buy a team and be an investor, make sure the logo's better.
It's a cool name, though.
I guess. It's a fucking fish.
I like it.
Pretty
There's
sick.
no reason not to believe in this core.
I like
And so to your point, to bring on Shiganda, I think it's going to be able to be like the core is that the essence of it. They got the monkey off their back. I have no reason to expect this team not to fucking just be full throttle. Nikki, to your point on other teams, sometimes, maybe they'll scale back a little bit during the regular season just so they don't totally burn out. So do they have to come in first during the spring or summer? No. But I expect them to come in second or third, and then I do expect them to raise in the championship again.
Are you gonna ask me why? Are you wondering why I put them in second? My reasoning? I like the team name. No. I think, listen, if a team wins a championship, steps back, and then looks at their weaknesses and says, how can we get better, and makes a move to do that, it only, especially coming off a year where they made a huge change that people were very in doubt of.
I was one.
I mean, everyone on this podcast included, besides me, who said, lower bracket run, baby. We already know their formula for winning. It is to boom and then to win. I don't know if that's going to be true anymore, though, because, Larssen overcame the hump that I think, like, the monkey on the back a little bit in terms of winning that championship. I think it's going to unlock a new level of confidence for this team to know that they can win when they've been kicked, like, down to the lower bracket is a bigger mental boost than anything, and then any win from the upper bracket could have been, in my opinion. So I expect them to just be kind of stuck together in the trenches, pick up their young player, and really just honestly get better this year.
I think that's a... I think when we look at the LCS, I'm so excited because there's about 6 teams that I think are really in contention, and the 2 teams outside of the top 4, I think it's more about I want to see them play, but I believe in it. With this, I really look at Excel and Fnatic, their potential strong contenders, but the top 3 have such talent. I think we're going to get great matches, particularly because of the format changes, which is going to give us best of 3s now. And so it's not a best of 1 random result. We're getting really the best teams playing against each other, adapting to each other. And I'm so hyped about that, especially from a betting perspective. Best of 3s are
chef kiss.
Minus 1.5, plus 1.5, like all those nice little juicy,
but also just a nice little money
bets.
line.
Just
you don't have to worry about
good.
just getting the massive upset because your team is asleep for the first game.
You can bet off draft as well. It's gonna be great.
So good.
I love
Happens
it.
way too often.
Look, I kind of that's it, guys. I'm sure it's going to be a great season, like we said. We'd love to hear what you think. Let us know in the comments, or better yet, join our Discord. You'll find the link in the description. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, we did an LCS episode earlier this week. You should check that out. If you haven't, please do. There'll be a link at the end of this episode. And look, honestly, if you've watched both episodes, you should subscribe because you like the content. You've put the time in. We're going to have more good stuff. Just join the fun, all right? That's what
just
we
the
like.
beginning. This is just the beginning.
This is the start of 2023, the year of best of 3. All right, guys, have a great day, and we will see you all soon. Bye.
Personally, I'm a guy that's subscribed to the channel. I'll say that. But peace out.